Hi, my name is George. I suffered a stroke on the left side of my brain towards the tail end of July of 2022. It must have been while I was sleeping because when I woke up, I couldn't speak. As you could imagine, all sorts of things were racing through my mind. Panic, fear, the usual. Fast forward to today. Well, almost. Once I was out of the hospital and home for a couple of weeks, always seeming to be sleeping and napping, I started to go to my doctor's appointments. In order to get there, I needed to travel by bus. Fortunately, I was able to walk and such. A little shaky, and I'm still a little shaky walking, and I still need a cane, but that's kind of to be expected. So, while on the way to my first appointment, instead of napping, I decided to try to doodle. I didn't know if I'd be able to, but I figured I'd try and cut down on the boredom. And before you ask, no, this was not done on one bus ride. This doodle was the result of various and numerous bus rides to and from appointments and while waiting in the doctor's office and waiting for various tests to be done. Apparently, there's a lot of appointments and tests to go through after a stroke. Now, I was perfectly happy to do voiceovers for my art videos because I viewed it as a way to work on my speech therapy. I also thought it was important to resume making videos because A, I like doing them, and B, it's important to show others that a disability, no matter how permanent or temporary it might be, doesn't define who you are. I was reluctant, however, to do a voiceover like this because I didn't want the people who watched my videos to see me as someone who had a stroke and post videos instead of an artist who had a stroke and then posted videos. I know it sounds like it's a small point of distinction, but my way of thinking is I wanted to avoid the almost obligatory pity view. Now, I can't ignore the fact that I had a stroke. But as I said earlier, my stroke doesn't define me. It's something that is a part of me, but it doesn't define me. But when an artist that I followed on YouTube by the name of Made by Dawn, which you should definitely go check her artwork out. I'll have a link to her YouTube channel in the description. But she said that YouTube is a supportive community and that my making videos is a way to recover from my stroke. Pre-stroke, I would lay out bullet points that I wanted to talk about. But now I have to write out a script, practice it out loud, and then record. Sometimes I have to re-record over and over again until I'm happy with how I sound. Sometimes this process can take up to 3 or 4 hours. It can be a long day. Now, before you say something like, "George, don't worry about it," there's always captions. But if I can't understand what I'm saying, you sure in the heck aren't going to be able to either. Do I like how I sound? All roboty and with a strange cadence? Not really, but I have to deal with it while my brain works out the wrinkles and how to talk. Have I heard an improvement from when I first started to speak again? Definitely. But I still have to do a lot of work before I do another unboxing or try my hand at live streaming, which I'm really looking forward to. To use a favorite quote of mine that I say in a couple of my past videos, patience, grasshopper. The playlist for my post-stroke rock painting videos is coming up next. Be kind to others, be kind to yourself, and remember to paint along the way.